Beth, you mentioned you're depressed after the divorce, you feel lonely. In fact, you're clinically depressed on medicine. What started to change in your life? What did you start doing?
Well, the funny thing is I was sitting on the couch one day, and it really was from God. I was just sitting there, and I started to pray. And then all of a sudden, I realized I got up, and I obviously am not Catholic or Christian, and there was a Portuguese church next door. And I went over, and they had our mother, Lady of Fatima, with the 3 children, and I stood there and prayed. And that lasted for, I would imagine, around 15 minutes. And then I went back again and again and again. And then that led me to a lot of other interesting experiences. And again, I don't know anything about listening or discernment or anything like that. So it was very interesting.
So you started to pray. You felt good when you prayed. You felt good when you went to that nearby church. What events led you to take a look at Catholicism specifically?
Well, what ended up happening was that I realized after one of the times of being with Mother Mary that I ended up, and again, this is not very typical, there was a Catholic bookstore in our small little town. And I went there, and it turned out that a deacon ran this store. And I just chatted with him, nothing specific, and after several times of going back there, he said, you know, why don't you go talk to this woman, and she runs a prayer group. And I did, and I ended up going to the prayer group every Monday night, and I ended up becoming very close with this woman. And when I got baptized, she actually became my sponsor.
That's cool. So you started to pray. There happened to be a Catholic Portuguese church nearby, which led you there. If it was a different affiliation, maybe you would have gone there to begin with.
Sure.
So that piqued your interest in Catholicism.
Right.
And then at some point, how did Catholics Come Home specifically help you on that faith journey?
Well, that's also very interesting because I started watching EWTN very early in my journey, and I saw your show, and there was a man named Vince on the show. He was American Indian, and for some reason I felt very connected to his story and so on, and it made me just feel like I wanted to learn more.
You're talking about the Evangelismal where Vince, as a Native American, said, I feel accepted for who I am.
Right.
How in your life did that resonate with you, feeling accepted?
Well, I felt totally unaccepted all my life, and as I was journeying, I realized that, it sounds cliche, but coming home, I mean, I feel like Jesus and Mother Mary love me.